What's going on, everyone, and welcome to Movie Emporium's movie review of the new Netflix original movie, Rose Island. This movie, of course, is directed by Sibilia. Now, before we begin, hey, if you like this channel, of course, hit the subscribe button to join Movie Emporium. Hit that notification bell at the top to find out what's coming next. If you like this video, awesome, hit that like button and comment below on any video to watch, including this one. So Rose Island is an Italian film that is about a guy named Giorgio who is basically kind of a drifter. He's not really, has no direction in his life. He has a girlfriend, or at least he had a girlfriend named Gabriella, who has basically kind of gone to her own separate way. She now has a boyfriend, probably going to get married, all that good stuff. He has a friend who he works for, and his dad works in a motorcycle company, so on and so forth. And during a motorcycle competition, he ends up seeing a billboard for a mining platform or a drilling platform in the middle of the ocean off the Italian coast, about 12 kilometers outside of international territorial waters. And he gets the bright idea that he's going to build a platform to basically create his own country or his own island that he ends up calling Rose Island. And in the process, it gets the wind of the Italian government, who becomes his major foe, and they basically give him ultimatums, you either leave this island or we're going to destroy it. And so it's a based on true story about how this guy named Giorgio basically created something that caused popularity throughout the entire world, to the point where people were putting applications for citizenship on this platform that was like 14 meters wide. It was really, really small. And so watching this movie is really fascinating as I go back and kind of read history about it, because once again, this is a story that isn't really well known. It's interesting how Netflix and the companies that produces these types of films find these stories out, because with a story like this that takes place in the 70s, when the fact that the Italian government, the military destroyed the platform, it actually lost its way in time, so you kind of forgot about it. But it's a story that is kind of ripe for movie making, ripe for adaptation, to give us kind of an interesting story on this particular character named Giorgio. And so with that said, watching the trailer for this movie didn't really excite me very much, but I love Italian romantic, comedies and whatnot. They're some of the most well-represented, well-liked, well-produced films in the world when it comes to those types of films. And I was like, you know what, this is Netflix. A lot of times they put out interesting foreign films, and I was going to take a look at this film, see if it was interesting. And by God, it was actually a lot better than I was expecting. This is a film that actually has a lot of passion and a lot of heart. It gives us a story we've never heard of before. And the idea that this story is in essence similar to something like Pirate Radio, where it's about people that will kind of defy the government, defy the odds, kind of go against the grain of who they are positioned to be, is a really fascinating tale. And I like the idea of this platform that these guys in the middle of the ocean created. I like the idea of the maritime water situation, where they can go out a certain amount of distance and they can like gamble, and they can have, teenagers sell alcohol. And it's just a very kind of interesting take on the idea of what the whole international water situation can be. And it's a really fun, really entertaining, kind of dramatic story about this one guy who kind of risked it all to basically create something that he was really passionate about, because as you see as the story goes along, he becomes more and more passionate, more and more like law of resistance type of scenario, where he was like very going and putting it into the face of the government. And the story it has a lot of heart to it. These actors and actresses in this movie, who I unfortunately have never heard of before, but I'm pretty sure they're pretty well mainstayed in the country they live in. They do a really nice job representing the characters of the time, the ideas and passions behind it. The funny fact of Gabriella is trying to get married to another guy because she was so disheartened about what how Giorgio's character was representing himself. The fact that it took him building this platform in the middle of the ocean to get any type of recognition is another interesting fact, because there's a point in this movie where he wants to celebrate with his family, but his family's so against it, and so on and so forth. And there's a guy who was a German deserter who's been officially kicked out of his own country that comes along and works on the platform. There's another guy who kind of came by it because he's been traveling the oceans for quite a while. There's the German deserter has this young female who he end up knocking up, who ends up being the bartender. And these characters are wacky, they're entertaining, but they actually have a lot of depth to them that makes it a really fun and really kind of unique kind of type of movie. But like I said, this goes into the pantheon of something like I said before with Pirate Radio, where it's about rebellion, it's about going against all odds, it's about people who, set a precedent that was against what, the Italian regime and the, Rome and so on and so forth, like truly were believing in at that point. And it's about people that are just, willing to sacrifice who they are for something kind of unique and experimental. So, but with that said, there are, like I said, there are very samey issues, the idea that, some of the plotting points are very kind of over dramatic and over silliness and stuff like that. There's a lot of points in this movie where you can tell it's made just for the movie instead of the actual true to fact life stuff, because of the simple fact that if you told a true by tale story, it would become super boring. And so you want to add in some fantastical elements, some over the top comedy and so on and so forth. So, but with that said, this movie, Rose Island, I definitely, would recommend if you enjoy comedies or you enjoy romantic dramedies and so on and so forth. If you like wacky characters, if you like wacky situations, if you like actually movies that are based on true stories that seem so outlandish and far-fetched that it actually becomes kind of cool to when you realize this is actually a thing that happened, I think you'll enjoy it. Just remember that it is an Italian film, so it has Italian dialogue. So with that said, if you can handle the whole reading subtitles and so on and so forth, I think you can really enjoy it. So, but yeah, that's my take on Rose Island. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know in the comments below what your favorite romantic comedy from another country is. Like I said, it can be something like Love Actually, which is from, United Kingdom and England. So, but anyways, let me know in the comments below. But otherwise, if you like my channel, of course, hit the subscribe button to join Movie Emporium. Hit that notification bell top to find what's coming in next. If you like this video, awesome. Hit that like button, and we'll see you guys on the next video. Peace out.